Aspiring to understand the Bible is a noble ambition. There are a number of different books designed just to help us understand the Bible, but that's not everyone's goal. Some people want to be biblically illiterate and stop themselves from ever having any foundational understanding of the Bible. So, I have compiled 5 steps to help us on our road to misunderstanding the Bible. Step 1. Make it your life's goal to prove your strongest opinion. There is nothing more admirable than fact-checking ourselves and questioning our opinions to make sure that we are both communicating and believing the right things. But our goal is to misunderstand the Bible. So, develop a really strong opinion and find one verse to support what you believe. You can even use half a verse, but just be sure never to ask the question, does the Bible really say the things I've been saying? Historically, the people who made it their goal to see if what they were taught about the Bible was correct usually developed a comprehensive understanding of the Bible. And we don't want to be like them. So avoid asking the question, are my opinions really biblical? You may start to understand the Bible, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to misunderstand the Bible. Step 2. Come up with any random idea and say, God told you this. There is nothing more pleasing than being fully convinced that God told you to believe what you believe. So be sure to always say, God put this on my heart, or God told me to tell you this, or God spoke directly to me in a dream when discussing the Bible, so that you can be convinced that your idea about the Bible is right. See, if you ever doubt that God is actually siding with your biblical theory, you will be compelled to seek God out for clarification, and those who seek God will find him, and those who find God will have a better understanding, which is what we're trying to avoid. So always tell yourself that God told you what to believe, so that you stop yourself from ever hearing what God truly has to say about the scriptures. Step 3. Make sure you use a translation that you do not understand. During the Reformation, the reason the Reformers translated the Bible from Latin to English was to provide the average uneducated person with a Bible that they could understand. At the time, only Catholic priests had a Bible they could read because they were taught Latin, whereas the average person did not have the socio-economical leverage to learn Latin. But for us to go back in history to the days where Catholic preachers preached Latin to people who only spoke English, we need to reinvent the wheel and use a Bible that we do not understand. So go on Amazon and order a 1611 King James Version, or even a regular King James Version, and make sure you join an organization that espouses the idea that the King James Version is the only inspired Bible that God wrote, so that you can have a good reason to misunderstand the things God said within the Bible. Step 4. When you are reading the Bible, rush through it. The Bible is a book that is meant to be read slowly because of its rich historical composition and theological framework. From the Bible, we learn about the history of Israel's origin, the history of Abraham, the father of the Abrahamic religions, which make up more than half of the world's population, and the history of how Christianity spread through different parts of the world during the first century. And like most books of history, we need to read the Bible slowly and in small portions to improve our overall comprehension of it. So, if you want to misunderstand the Bible, don't do that. Make sure you read really fast, because the faster you read, the easier it will be to misunderstand the primary message of the Bible. To do this successfully, go and find a read the entire Bible 5 times in a year plan, or even read the Bible in a year plan. And when you miss a day, make sure you make yourself feel really guilty and ignore the fact that God is not holding you to those standards, so that you read twice as fast the next day. Step 5. When you get the verse of the day, don't look at the full chapter or the full book. The Bible was written in such a way that it is impossible to understand it by reading only one verse within a chapter. About 60% of the Bible is in story form, which means that reading only one verse or one sentence out of a 10-page story will make it impossible to understand what the author was trying to communicate. Here's an example. If you go to the last page of the story of the tortoise and the hare, you will see a turtle crossing a finish line. Now, for those people that do not know the entire story of the tortoise and the hare, some questions that might come up are, why is there a turtle crossing a finish line? Why is there a rabbit that was racing a turtle? Why is there a story titled Tortoise and a Hare that involves racing animals? See, if we don't know the entire story but read the last page of the full story, we're going to be confused about what the message of the story is. Therefore, we have to read the full story to get a full understanding, and that's exactly how the Bible works. The only way to fully grasp a biblical story within the Bible is to read the entire story, or as much of the story as we possibly can. So don't do that. Instead, make sure you read the verse of the day on your favorite Bible app and avoid the actual chapter and context, because if you do that, you will be certain to come up with your own version of what the verse really means, thereby leading yourself to the worst understanding of the Bible. There you have it, guys. These are 5 steps that will help you misunderstand the Bible. If you follow these steps in order from 1 to 5, you will be able to be the most confused person during a Bible study, no matter what church you go to.